Just nudged the dog right out of the way to come and see me. Huh?
Hey everybody, this is Dave. Just gonna go ahead and go over a game that I played over here. And I'm a typical E4 player, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you a game that I made over here. Of course, we're both low rated. I know we're only rated in the 800 range at chess.com. This is like the ultimate beginner, but it's got some pretty cool moves, and I think it's one of my better games. But okay, let's check it out. I'm also doing my Agar Martor impersonation, if you can't guess. So let's go ahead and open the game. We have e4. Pawn comes out. Bishop comes out. Knight. Pawn defends. I'm just defending the pawn here. The knight is threatening him. And I don't want him to capture and get me in some kind of uncomfortable position. And he just go ahead and continue to develop. Moves his pawn out. Bishop threatening the knight. The bishop defending the knight now, so you don't have to capture the pawn, wrecking your pawn structure on the king side. And the knight coming out, just continuing to develop. And this pawn is going to go ahead and protect the pawn that the knight was threatening as it was undefended. That would be on e5. And continuing to develop, just bringing out the other knight. Kind of preparing something on the D file here, but I haven't quite unveiled it yet, so let's just see as it comes along, okay? And he goes in and he threatens my bishop. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to do at this point here, whether I wanted to capture the pawn down here, just moving pieces around. So let's go ahead and start the action. I went ahead and captured his knight. Now, typically, my bishop would technically be trapped right here ultimately and be captured by his bishop either way, but he went ahead and recaptured with his bishop. And in this instance, I just moved my bishop out of the way. He continues to develop, getting this bishop out, or his knight rather, and then the pawn moves in. And this is where the plan starts to come into order right here. So as you can see, this pawn is going to be attacked, and then it's going to be also it's attacked twice, not only by the pawn, but by the bishop behind it. But this is my whole plan right here. So let's check it out. Pawn captures, knight captures, bishop captures, queen captures. Now what do? I'm also threatening the pawn on g7. And I'm kind of, trying to buckle them down here, though. Although the material is technically kind of equal. Looks like we each have one pawn of the other guys here. But all my pieces are pretty much developed right here. His queen is still in the same spot. His bishop is still, his rooks are still on, It's just, I feel a lot more comfortable in this position right here than he does. Okay, so he moves the knight out. What's the idea here? We're not sure, so we're going to keep on going. I'm going to go ahead and castle. He continues in castles as well. I move my rook out. He moves his king over, and I wasn't quite sure why he did this, but, it's whatever. But his king is pretty much out of danger. It was at this particular moment here that I saw the back rank mate. And I'll show you how it works here in just a second. Obviously, he did not make the best moves in this, particular game, but oh well, whatever. So, move the rook up. Knight comes over. Now, it is undefended, but I have really no way of attacking it other than moving my pawn out, but I don't want to ruin my pawn structure in front of the king. I'm still concentrating on getting this checkmate idea going here. So, when we move the pawn over, he decides that he does not want to capture and puts the pawn forward. This is where we make the sacrifice of the knight. And pawn captures, bishop captures, and now what? He moves the rook out of the way of the harm of the bishop, but this is the critical mistake of the game, I think. And with the rook here, and you can probably see what's fixing to happen here. The queen is attacked twice. My bishop is attacking the pawn in front of the rook, and this is my whole idea coming up. Now, he threatens my bishop here. We're just going to simply move out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and capture here. And, if he captures, the bishop is exactly what he played. This is exactly what I wanted. As you can see, his queen is attacked twice by my queen and by my rook. He captures. I capture the queen. And you can probably see it starting to develop now as he's in check. He has to capture the queen. The rook's going to continue to come back and capture. And then he blocks with the rook, and it's all over. So let's see that part sequence again here. It's the sacrifice of the knight. And then when the rook comes over, putting the same, is the same, on the d file here. And then once the bishop gets sacrificed off here, when he takes it with the rook, it's all over. So queen takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook blocks, rook takes, and it's checkmate. It's all over. So that was my first brilliancy. I wouldn't call it a brilliancy so much as just a cool victory. And once again, we're low-rated players, so if you're a low-rated player and you like chess, check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll check you later.